I think most people are learning coding completely wrong in 2026. And the crazy part is, AI made the problem worse because now people can build entire apps within minutes without understanding anything. But imagine losing $2,000 per minute because of one line of AI-generated code. Even worse, imagine being blamed for being a crap developer because you refuse to truly master your fundamentals. The LLM you relied so heavily on goes scot-free and you lose your job. People think AI means you can become a software engineer like this. But what if that's exactly why most developers are about to get replaced? For the longest time, I thought learning to code meant learning frameworks, React, Next.js, tutorials, Udemy courses. But the deeper I got into software, the more I realized something uncomfortable. Writing code is only about 10% of being a real software engineer. The other 90% is understanding systems, users, scaling, infrastructure, failure, real problems. AI created one of the biggest illusions in the history of programming, the illusion of speed. You can now build an entire app in minutes, but building software is not the hard part, maintaining it is. Imagine this, you just started your SaaS product, users are signing up, payments are coming in, then suddenly users reporting issues, your database CPU is at 100%, checkout is broken, users can't log in, and your company is losing about $2,000 every minute. What happened? Turns out your AI-generated search bar sends a new API request every time someone presses a key. 16 requests from one search, no debouncing, no rate limiting, no caching, nothing. Your AI just didn't think about that, and you didn't either. However, it's not all gloom and doom with LLMs. Using them properly can really be the difference between the average person and the people that will level up in all forms of work with every kind of workflow. And here's how I use LLMs to upgrade and enhance my workflow. Number 1, with everything I learn, I always try to confirm with a couple of LLMs, for example, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, and Claude, if they are used as a standard practice in building SaaS applications. Number 2, when building or working, I use the right LLMs to help speed up my workflow so that I can have more free time. But I only achieve this when I pay very close attention to everything that is being generated. I confirm from documentation, books, my community, and a couple of YouTube videos. That leads me to my next point. Number 3, in my free time that I gain from being efficient with using LLMs, I take my time to properly learn my fundamentals. To clarify, in work mode, I'm as efficient and as fast as possible, but in learning mode, I consume and execute on my own as much as humanly possible. This is what allows me personally to really understand and maximize the fullest potential of LLMs when building software. Working and learning this way has allowed me to prompt better, understand quicker, and ship more robust software faster. Quick note, LLMs are an extension of your capabilities. If you are crap at building and understanding software, the use or abuse of LLMs will further accentuate how crap you are. On the good side, if you're excellent at building software, have a solid understanding of software systems and architecture, the LLM will accelerate and refine your workflow tremendously. Now, don't get me wrong, doing this, especially as a solo builder, documenting his journey on building solutions for real people is very daunting and very difficult. That's why the average human just wants to get a job and not have to deal with caring for and communicating with real people, that is real world users. And that, in my humble opinion, is a distinction between a true software engineer who solves real problems and someone who wants to be paid for typing Next.js code and completing assigned tickets. I may be wrong, and I might never pull this whole build with purpose goal off. But hey, if that happens, you will not have to go through the stress of trying to solve problems yourself. You just pivot and start learning how to become a farmer or mechanic. However, consider this. Just because large language models are reaching the point where they can build and deploy software from scratch doesn't mean that every piece of software created by AI will be something people actually want or need. And that, my friends, is the ace in the hole. Your ability to engage meaningfully with people, uncover frustrating or tedious pain points they are willing to pay to solve, empathize with their needs, build and ship something genuinely useful, and effectively sell that solution. That is what will differentiate you in 2026. This is what I call vibe coding. Phase 1, you contribute zero thought and planning into your projects, and your LLM of choice generates working code for you in 10 minutes. You feel unstoppable. Phase 2, you spend 1 hour debugging with and hammering your LLM until it solves all the errors as they reveal themselves. Phase 3, you ship the product and users start trying it out. Soon, feedback comes in. They either dislike it or request a must-have feature. But when you attempt to add or remove that feature, you realize the architecture is so fragile that even small changes break things in production, forcing you to refactor almost the entire system. Phase 4. You spend 4 hours fighting with your LLM. It starts hallucinating and it finally gives up the ghost. You run out of credits. Please wait until 7 p.m. But you promised your girl you'll be at the restaurant at 7 p.m. for your date. Phase 5. Now you realize you were way slower than if you had just bit the bullet and taken your time to write the code yourself, or at least attempt to understand every single change LLM made. Now the whole noise of shipping mindlessly with zero knowledge of software systems and architecture comes crashing. Is it my fault? Brian Kennedy once said something brutal. Debugging is twice as hard as writing code. So if you write code that exceeds your understanding, you will never be able to fix it. And that's exactly where a lot of developers are heading. Because the real skill was never typing code. The real skill was identifying and solving problems with software. Note, it is a different story if you plan to remain non-technical and have a clear plan or timeline to hand the project over to experienced, high-quality developers who can refine and scale the software once users are consistently engaging with your product. This video, however, is mainly directed at software engineers who enjoy building and maintaining full control over their systems. In the long run, it's often faster and more cost-effective when you design and build things properly yourself without being completely dependent on the skill level of other developers or on LLMs. The competition right now is insane. You are not going to survive by just getting by. You don't get to stay the same every day. You must keep learning, keep leveling up. And if you ask me, Prince, how on earth do I become a better software engineer in this era? How do I stay relevant and improve at a higher rate as compared to the average person? My answer is quite simple. Take full control of your projects. You see, the only way you will 10x your effectiveness and efficiency in the era of technology is to embrace the full potential and extension of your capabilities with LLMs. Ironic, right? However, you are not just running code, you are understanding it line by line to the point where you could explain it to a 5-year-old, to the point where if you were to hit a usage limit, which happens quite frequently, you can easily take over and continue your project with good old Google search, documentation, forums, Stack Overflow, Medium blogs, and a slight sprinkling of YouTube videos until your usage limit is restored. Completely frozen. Unbelievable. Look at that. Even the script of this video was refined and made better and clearer by an LLM, but you don't see me copying and pasting or even saying exactly what the LLM generated. I further refined the scripts and made it my own. I am making sure I have full control of my video and what I'm sharing with my audience. The moment you take full control of whatever you are building, you are no longer average. You are ahead of most people already. Africa is a gold mine. There are thousands of small, boring problems everywhere. Small business tools, payment automation, logistics, scheduling, niche SaaS, and boring software, boring solutions are what print real money. So here's what I'm doing. I'm documenting everything. My wins, my failures, my experiments, my successes. I want to find out for myself if I could build software that solves real, boring, and annoying problems from scratch while showing almost every step of the process. And I'm using myself as a test subject. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. If it works, we celebrate. If it fails, I learn from my mistakes and I go again and again and again. AI will not replace builders. In fact, it will enhance the workflows of those that use it properly. It will most definitely replace people who only know syntax. Like I said earlier, the future belongs to people who find problems, build solutions, tell stories, and sell products. So there you have it. The emergence of artificial intelligence really doesn't spell doom if you put yourself in the right position and leverage on the extension of your capabilities that these large language models give you. But you need to have the capacity first before diving into the extension of those capabilities. AI is a multiplying factor in your journey of learning how to solve real-world problems with software. But as the fundamentals of mathematics have taught us, 0 times 1 billion is still 0. If you don't have the understanding, the experience, the finesse, the nuance of solving problems yourself, abusing LLMs wouldn't save you. It will only make you worse, especially in this era. Subscribe, it has no paywall.